Hi everyone, I'm Tanaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of July 17th. Before I get stuck into the forecast, I just want to say there is someone pretending to be me, replying to your YouTube comments, your wonderful, awesome YouTube comments, pretending to be me offering readings. This is not me, this is a scam. Please do not reply, just delete, report the comment. Please know I will never reach out to you over any type of social media in your DMs, in your comments, offering readings. I'm actually not even offering readings at the moment. So if you see that, just know it is not me. It is a scam. Delete. Do not hand over any personal information. So just want to put that out there because somebody was doing that last week. And thank you for letting me know. And I'm glad a lot of you seem to figure out that it's not me, but just wanted to have that little announcement in there. So this week we have on the 19th Chiron stationing retrograde, and what's really interesting or kind of cool is that Chiron will be conjunct or aligned with the moon the time it goes retrograde. The moon moves very quickly, which is why in astrology we don't tend to talk about it too much. Of course, full moon, new moon, they're big events, but in a day-to-day sense, the moon is moving very, very quickly. And so for this fast-moving moon to somehow be aligned exactly at the right time when Chiron, which is very slow-moving, stations retrograde is pretty significant. It's pretty rare. It's pretty special. When I saw that in the chart, I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. Chiron is an asteroid, so its energy is far more subtle than a planet, but it's still influential. In fact, Chiron's probably the most famous asteroid out there. We have a lot of them, but most people tend to know about Chiron, and that's because it, I think, has a message that really resonates with a lot of people. Chiron is known as the wounded healer. And it's these wounds that allows Chiron to step into its healing ability, its healer role that it takes on in this life. So the story goes that Chiron was abandoned at birth. Nobody wanted Chiron. So, obviously it has Chiron has that wound of abandonment. However, it takes that wound that wasn't its fault. It was just sort of born into this scenario, and it takes that wound and it turns it into it uses that energy to then step into a role as a teacher, psychic, and healer for other people to guide and help others. And this ability lives within all of us. There are some wounds that we were born with that are not our fault, not our doing, completely out of our control. There are things that happen with us that stay with us. And it's not so much these wounds that we're talking about here with Chiron are the ones that we fix. They're sort of the ones that are with us forever. We do the healing work, but they're always going to be a part of who we are. And we take that and we find the power in that. We find the wisdom in that. We channel it so we can heal and then also heal others and use that as fuel for our spiritual journey, for our psychic journey, for our journey in just being a more compassionate human being. We all have these wounds. In a sense, in astrology, Chiron is sort of the wounds that we were destined to have in a way. It sort of represents either wounds from a past life or simply wounds that our soul wanted to experience for whatever reason. There's probably a number of reasons why a soul would want to experience a certain set of life lessons. Maybe it just wants to experience that. Maybe it wants to teach and help people in that arena. And so Chiron sort of represents those wounds that we're kind of born with and that we're destined to turn into portals of power. So when Chiron goes retrograde, it's a very subtle energy. However, it helps us to identify, come to terms with our healing journey. And in fact, I just want to say that with Chiron turning retrograde, it kind of is a time to celebrate your healing journey, celebrate how you have progressed and moved forward through any traumatic events that have happened in your life. and, you know, honoring that, honoring yourself, honoring the work you've done, honoring the space. It's also a time to think about how you can take your wounds, your things that just keep you up at night, and channel them into something powerful, something that will work for you. Again, there are just some wounds that can never be healed. And so the answer when we can't do that, when we, you know, obviously it's important to do the work, go to therapy, you know, work and sit with the traumas that we have so they don't keep recreating and showing up in our lives. But on the deepest level, this energy is sort of about acknowledging, accepting, and then trying to find a way to use that wound as a powerful force in your life. So, you know, working with that, maybe there's something in that Chiron energy that has sparked your interest, that you've kind of grabbed and hold on to, something that I've said. Whatever that might be, that's probably your journey under this Chiron retrograde. And the addition of the moon there is going to really add a layer of emotion to it. We might be just more in touch with our emotions, more in touch with that heart-centered place, allowing us to use our wounds to soften us, to make us more compassionate, to make us more thoughtful, to make us more, you know, willing to help and step in to help others, guide others. That moon energy will really add a softening, more emotional layer, especially because especially because Chiron is going retrograde in Aries, which is a little bit more like, you know, suck it up, let's move forward, let's keep going, let's, you know, soldier ahead. That moon will kind of just soften a little bit of that energy, helping us to really reflect, celebrate, honor ourselves for the healing journey that we have traveled. The other big cosmic event for the week is the sun moving into Leo. This happens on the 22nd, or could be 23rd, depending on your time zone too, if you're from Australia and living in the future, to those in America, but 22nd, 23rd, I believe. So the sun loves to be in Leo. That is its home. That is where it feels the most radiant. So we get beautiful solar energy when the sun moves here. So think of solar plexus, you know, that middle belly chakra. We really get a strong creative energy when the sun moves into Leo that we can all tap into. We can think of the season of Leo as using the lion, Leo the lion, sort of as our spirit guide. So finding our confidence, finding our strength, you know, being proud, owning who we are. That is actually at the core, one of the fundamental energies that Leo Leo beholds. It's that idea that we don't need to be anything other than ourselves. Think about it, right? The lion is so majestic and wonderful. It doesn't need to pretend to be a zebra or a giraffe or a gorilla, right? It can just be itself. You know, we would say, oh my God, no, lion, just be yourself. You're incredible. Own that mane, own that walk, own, you know, all the parts of you. And the same can be said for us. We are majestic, beautiful, awesome, you know, and just as the lion, we allow the lion to be itself. We want the lion to be itself. And that same message can be, you know, taken within us. Just be yourself. Be proud in who you are. Be confident in who you are. You don't need to be anything else. So as the sun moves into Leo, it's a good time to think about your actions, behaviors, and are they for you or are they for other people? Of course, I know a lot of you are parents taking care of other people, filling roles at work and so on and so forth, but in your day-to-day life, are your actions, are your behaviors because you want to do them, or because you think you should, or because somebody else told you to, or you feel like you'll be judged if you don't? Just bring some awareness to that. You don't have to, you know, radically change anything, but just that awareness can help you start to make small little shifts. Just bringing the awareness to that behavior that you're doing because of fear of judgment, or because you're worried about what other people will think of you, or because it's just a habit. Your mom did it, your dad did it, and now you're doing it and you don't really know why. Just bringing awareness can help you to then slowly begin to make gentle, natural changes and progression. So that's an awesome energy that we can all work with as the sun shifts into Leo. And I will end on this. As the sun enters Leo, it partners up with another asteroid called Ceres. Ceres will be kind of hovering on that, Cancer Leo point as well as the sun moves into Leo. And Ceres is about nurturing, nourishment. It can sometimes bring up the mother wound as well. But it asks us, how can I nourish myself? How can I look after myself, bring nourishing energy into my body? So that's another question I would love for you to think about and work with as we move through this week. What can you do right now? What's in your power right now to bring nourishment to your body? And that energy of Ceres, especially at the end of the week, will help you to amplify, to boost any actions that you take to nourish yourself. So that is the energy for the week. We've got a lot of healing, nourishing energy that's helping us to step into our confidence, to work our creative muscles, to exercise our role as a teacher, as a healer, to tap into more of our compassion, and to just be more of our true selves. So I hope that was helpful. You can get your Leo season horoscope at foreverconscious.com. There's one there for each of the 12 signs of the zodiac. I'll drop a link below, but you can find it at foreverconscious.com, your Leo season horoscope. Also, actually, before I go, there is another big energy, and I am going to talk more about it next week, but it is the Uranus North Node conjunction. This is a big cosmic energy. It's kind of already in effect at this time, but it peaks at the end of the month. I have written an article about it. Check it out. I'll talk more about it next week as we get closer to it. But this is essentially, Uranus coming together with the North Node is about a collective shift to our destiny. So that's big energy. I'll talk more about it next week, but if you want to get a head start, if you want to, tap into what that energy is because it's already in operation, check out that article. I'll also drop a link below. That's the Uranus and North Node conjunction. All right, guys, you have an awesome week. I'll see you next week.